All right, Shalom. First off, all praises, admiration, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahakodash, and double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. All right, first off, I want to say Shalom to the ones that push this word out in truth and in sincerity, which are the apostles and elders on down to the brothers. And Shalom to the ones that endured his faith to the very end, until the time of Jacob's trouble, which are again the apostles and elders on down to the brothers and a few sisters. All right, so Shalom. So, I want to do this, quick video, pretty much like a response, because as you can see by the title, the brothers in GMS Holland, right? That's the brothers in Germany, right? Just pretty much a response off of this video, right? Your prayers might be answered in a way you did not anticipate, right? Which is damn true. Right, and just watching through this video, he had some very good key questions, right, and key points on that, right, spiritual insight on that, because one thing that most people realize is that, when you pray to the Lord, and brothers experience it, you might ask for strength, you might ask for protection, you might ask for, faith, and the Lord is going to throw a lot of curveballs your way, right? Shit might go south in your life, right? Things might start going bad, things might start going terrible. You might start, getting depressed. You might start getting, things might start happening. Shit, your woman might leave you and, all this other stuff, man. But that's the Lord doing that, right? That's the Lord testing you. That's the Lord putting you through, trials, right? And this brother, as this brother stated, in his video, man, he had some good questions, man. He said, well, sometimes you might sit there and wonder, well, why would the Lord, put that into my life when he already knows, when I already know it's inconvenient, right? Because when you pray for these things and it comes the way it does, but it's not the way you expected it, right? First off, the Lord already knows, what you're praying for, right? And you ask for these things, it's not going to be, the way that you expect it, right? As the brother said. So as he was just saying, man, he started using the word inconvenient, right? Because that's a good word for that, right? Inconvenience would start happening in your life, and everything starts getting very inconvenient, right? Bad things start happening, evil times, omens, right? Stuff like that would start happening, especially if you ask for, faith, strength, etc., man, because the Lord is going to throw inconvenient things into your life, and it will help you build up, right, in your faith, right? That's what prayer would do, right? Because if your life going all good and that's not good, right? That means something wrong. That means the Lord is not throwing, that inconvenience into your life, right? So as the brother said, man, he was like, you would sit there and think, well, why is the Lord putting this, all this into my life, like the things I prayed for, but it's inconvenient, right? That shows, man, that's and again, that is a spiritual, insightful way to put it, right? That shows, man, that's the Lord putting tests onto you, right? Testing your faith, testing your strength, right? The Lord would do that, right? So as you already see, I'll have his channel pinned down, right? And in fact, let me get this scripture. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, there have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, right? So the Lord is not going to give you something that you can't handle, right? The Lord will, you ask for certain things, man, the Lord is going to give it to you in certain ways. But as the brother said, even in that video, he said, well, it might not be the right time. It might be the wrong package even, right? It might not be exactly, when you want it, how you want it, right? Because the Lord is testing you, right? Testing your faith, testing your patience, testing your, what's the word? Integrity, right? So this scripture is pretty much saying, man, the Lord is not going to give you something that you can't handle. So things start going south in your life, man. Don't start, thinking that it's uh automatically thinking that it's negatives and just woe is me, my life is just terrible, the Lord is not with me, the Lord is being against me. Well, the Lord is testing you, right? And if things start going bad in your life after praying, right, you should be thankful, man. You should start rejoicing, right? Because that means the Lord is working with you, right? Look, in fact, a prime example is look outside, right? Our people, the way they are, them, committing all the wickedness, right? Our people are just dumb in a deep sleep. That's the Lord punishing us as a nation. That means the Lord loves us, right? So whenever people say, well, God is doing bad things to you, and why you want to worship somebody like that? Well, why wouldn't we? The real question is, as the brother Amawan says, man, why wouldn't we? Why would we not worship Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai? Right? That's why, man. Let me get this this scripture, right? It's one of well-known scriptures. This is Luke 21:36. It says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." Right? So what does it say? Watch ye therefore and pray always. Right? So you're supposed to pray always unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. That's how you get that strength. That's how you get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? That's why, there's certain brothers out there that really specialize in the Hebrew, right? The prayer. The regional head, Elder Monaghan, right? In fact, I'll put his channel in the description as well, right? He writes prayers, right? You got brothers day in, day out writing prayers, doing videos. The Lord will test you. The Lord will test you, right? And that's a spiritual video, man, because he was just going into it like the Lord will test you, right? It will not always be the right package, man. You can't just pray unto the Lord and expect, all the time, sometimes it may, but you can't always expect, everything being in the right package, like some Amazon Prime, right? The Lord just deliver your prayer right away, 1 day shipping, right? Amazon Prime, it's all good, no, might be the wrong time. It might be some bad times you got to go through, and that's good, right? The Lord will put you through tribulation, right? That's why it's also in Luke, the parable of the sower, right? The ones that fell upon stony ground. I was going to say the thorns, but the thorns are the riches, right? But the ones that fell upon the stony ground, what that means, even read further, it'll even tell you what that means. Those are the ones that can't take persecution or tribulation, right? It even says that. It says they can't take persecution or tribulation. Those are the ones, the seeds that fell out because, things start getting too hard for them. They get easily offended. They can't take any tribulation. Bad times start happening. And there are Jake out there who, started complaining, saying, when they started praying unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man, bad things started happening. So they fell out, right? That means you couldn't withstand the test, right? You couldn't withstand the test. So that's another thing. Pray that you do not be those seeds that fall upon stony ground, right? I just thought of that, man. Pray that you don't be the seed that fall upon stony ground. That you don't fall out because, things start getting hard, man. You got to pray that's another thing, man. Pray that you endure. So, by the Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakahakodash, and Shalom.